Hello students, welcome to another session of All Force e-learning program. I am DNR, your physics lecturer, right? So we are doing the chapter called electric potential and capacitors. So today we shall talk about common potential and its illustrations. We will take up the concept of common potential and some basic formula, basic problems in that, right? So before going to that, let's have a recall of what are the basic things that are required to understand this concept. Okay, so we know the capacity of a capacitor C is equal to Q by V. Well, the capacity of a capacitor C is equal to Q by V, where Q is the charge stored and V is the potential, or Q is CV, or V is equal to Q by C. First case, right? Then the energy stored in a capacitor E is equal to half CV square or Q square by 2C, or it is half QV. The energy stored in a capacitor is like this, right? And now talking about the common potential, the concept of common potential. What is common potential actually? So here what we are doing is, look, in the earlier class, in the last chapter, the previous chapter, I was talking about charging by conduction. So in that what we have done is, we have considered one of the process of electrification. Electrification, the process of giving charge to a body, to a object, right? So in the process, one of the process is charging by conduction. Now in that we consider a charged body, a body possessing charge, and this charged body is now connected to an uncharged body by direct connection, direct contact, or indirect contact. So when I connect this, then the charge from one body flows to the other body, right? Charge flows, and we attain a level of the charge flows until both the bodies attain common potential, same potential. So in the process of electrification, it is something similar to a tank with some water and another tank, empty tank, both connected. Water will flow from one tank to another tank until their levels are equal. Same as that levels, the electric levels become equal. The concept of common potential comes from this idea of same level, common level of two different things, entities. Same way we are going to do it. Suppose, consider a capacitor. Consider a capacitor like this. A capacitor C1 charged to a potential V1. So the charge on it is Q1 and the energy is U1. The energy is U1, right? So it is charged to a potential like this. So capacitor C1 charged to a potential V1. The charge on it is Q1 and the energy is U1. Well, from this we can write down, from that formula, charge on it Q1 is equal to C1 V1. And the energy U1 is equal to half, the energy is half C1 V1 square. Similarly, consider another capacitor C2, charged to a potential V2, charge Q2, energy U2 like this. Separately by another source, when the charge in it is C2 V2 and the energy in it is half C2 V2 square. The energy is half C2 V2 square. So I am charging two different capacitors separately. One is charged through some source and other one charged by another source. Two different capacitors charged separately, and they are separated from their sources, the respective sources. So this capacitor C1 charged to a potential V1. This capacitor C2 charged to a potential V2. Well, the charge on this one is Q1, C1 V1. Charge on this is Q2, C2 V2. The total charge on both of them, when they are charged separately, the total initial charge on both of them, sigma Qi. You know, sigma refers to the total value, the summation, the the summation of all the total things. So the total initial charge possessed by the system of capacitors, this is Q1 plus Q2. Well, the total initial charge I can write as C1 V1 plus C2 V2. Right? The total initial charge. Similarly, the total energy, the total initial energy, it's U1 plus U2. Well, sigma U is half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. The total charge and the total energy. Right? So that way we write down the things. So like this. Initial, before connection, before combining them. So when I charge this separately and charge this separately by the respective sources to the potentials V1, V2, charges are Q1, Q2 respectively, and the energies are U1 and U2. Then the total charge, total energy are like this. Initially before connection. Now what I do is, I can combine them. I am joining them. What do you mean joining them? I am biasing, I am connecting them in parallel. How do I do it? Plus is connected to plus, minus is connected to minus. The right way of combining them. So I connect the positive terminal of the first capacitor to the positive of the second, and the negative of the first capacitor to the negative of the second. Plus is connected to plus, minus is connected to minus. This is called electrical biasing. Electrical biasing, plus to plus, minus to minus. When I bias them, connect them like this. Then what happens? Two different electrical charges are combined together. You know, when we were studying about that, so there is already existing charge, there is another charge which is uncharged, another body uncharged. So this body is already possessing charge and there is already potential existing in it, and the other one has uncharged and no potential. So when I link them, when I connect them, then charge always flows from high potential to low potential. Charge flows from high potential to low potential. So the charge flows from high to low until their potentials become equal, levels become equal, electric levels become equal. So here the charge out of these two, well, I have charged them to different potential, different sources. Hence that potentials are different. So one is more, one is big, other one is less, right? So it may be V1 greater than V2 or V2 greater than V1. Whichever one is big, the charge will flow from that to the small one. Well, if both are of same potential, no charge will flow. Both are already in equilibrium, electrical equilibrium. They are in electrical equilibrium. So when there is electrical equilibrium, no charge will flow, no migration takes place. The system remains as it is. No loss of anything takes place. No variation occurs. The variation occurs when there is potential difference, when there is level difference. So suppose if the potential of the one is different from the other one, right? So then when I combine them, charge will flow from higher level to lower level, high potential to low potential, right? Let's suppose V1 is greater than V2. Suppose I'm just imagining that V1 is greater than V2. So if V1 is greater than V2, the charge will flow from high to low. The charge flows from high potential to low potential until their potentials become equal. Until both potentials become equal. Let both attain a common potential Vc. Then, so when they attain a common potential, now the new charge on this one. So when I have joined this to this is at high potential, it has lost some charge. It has sent some charge to the second one. So this is losing some charge. So the new charge on the first one, it's C1 Vc. New charge on the second one, it is C2 Vc. So the total new charge is C1 plus C2 into Vc. The total final charge. This was the total initial charge, and this is the total final charge. Well, we know according to law of conservation of energy, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. When whatever be the process, the total charge remains constant. So therefore, total final charge will be equal to the total initial charge, equating both. C1 plus C2 into Vc is C1 V1 plus C2 V2. Well, taking it this side, I get Vc as C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. This is the common potential of the system. So therefore, when I combine these both, when I combine both the capacitors like this, then both attain a common potential both attain a common potential Vc, and the common potential is given as, the common potential Vc is C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. This is the common potential there. Well, this is based on, how did I arrive onto this one? It is based on law of conservation of energy. The principle involved in this process is the law of conservation of energy. Sorry, law of conservation of charge. Total initial charge is total final charge. The common potential Vc is C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. This way we find the common potential. Well, suppose now in this case I have connected plus to plus, minus to minus, so that is the reason. So it is in the right way. Suppose the positive plus terminal is connected to plus, minus to minus, then it is this way. Suppose if I connect the reverse way, plus to minus, minus to plus, right? Anti-parallel method. This is parallel method. If I connect in the other way, then the second one is reversed. So V2 is reversed. So I get minus. Simply, so the common potential, when like terminals are joined together, when I combine like terminals together, then the common potential we got it as C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. Suppose if I combine the unlike terminals together, plus is connected to minus, plus of the first capacitor, positive terminal of the first capacitor is connected to the negative terminal of the second capacitor, negative terminal of the first capacitor is connected to the positive terminal of the second capacitor, the reverse way, then it is C1 V1 minus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. Right? So this way the common potential can be arrived. Well, in this process, what happens? What other change that take place? So initially the energy stored in this one was half C1 V1 square, this one was half C2 V2 square. The total energy was half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square, the total energy initial. But the final energy is not that. The total final energy, final total energy is half of C1 plus C2 into Vc square. It is half C1 plus C2 into Vc square, where Vc is common potential. This is common potential. So if I combine that, then I get half C1 plus C2 times the total. The energy in this one is half C1 Vc square. Energy in this one will be half C2 Vc square. Final energy. So half C1 Vc square, C2 Vc square, final. So I have taken C1 plus C2 common. Half C1 Vc square, half C2 Vc square. Half of C1 plus C2 Vc square. Well, Vc substituting here, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2 whole square. Well, in the denominator, if I split it again, write it like this. C1 plus C2 bracket C1 V1 plus or minus C2 V2 whole square by C1 plus C2 whole square. One of these gets cancelled. So therefore the total final energy, it is half, denominator is C1 plus C2, in the numerator C1 V1 plus or minus C2 V2 whole square. This is the total final energy. Half of C1 V1 plus or minus C2 V2 whole square by C1 plus C2. This is the final energy after they being combined plus to minus, minus to plus. This is the final energy of the system. Well, we have written the total initial energy. Initial total energy is half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. This is the total initial energy. And this is the total final energy. Now, when I compare these both, obviously the total initial energy is more and the total final energy is less. Some of the energy is lost. There is loss in energy. Right? Initial energy will be more because when I join them like this, then when I combine, some energy is lost in the form of heat. Sure of it. So therefore, this is initial energy more than final energy. So the energy that is lost, delta E, the energy that is being lost, delta E, this you can write as total initial energy minus total final energy. Total energy initial minus total energy final. So putting these two things together, right, combining these two things together, I get the loss in energy is equal to the total energy lost. So the loss in energy, the energy lost is half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square minus of half of C1 V1 plus or minus C2 V2 whole square by C1 plus C2. This one. This is total initial energy and this is total final energy. Obviously the initial energy is more and the final energy is less. Initial energy is more, final energy less, so some of the energy is lost in the form of heat. The energy will be lost in the form of heat. What is the energy lost in the form of heat? Loss in energy or the amount of heat produced, energy loss. So if I simplify this, well, plus or minus, I am taking both the cases together there. Like I can connect plus to plus, minus to minus. Either the like terminals are connected or the unlike terminals are connected. So either plus to plus or minus to minus. If it is plus to plus, minus to minus, take it as plus here. If it is the reverse way, positive of the first connected to negative of the second, negative of the first connected to positive of the second, then you write it as minus. Like this. So this way you have to put down. So this is the final energy, total initial energy, and this is the total final energy. If I simplify this, on simplification, the energy lost by the system, or the amount of heat produced, right, this you will get it as half, on simplification, half C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 whole square, it's V1 minus or plus V2 whole square. Well, you please understand here. If in this case, plus is connected to plus, minus is connected to minus, positive to positive, negative to negative, parallel method, right way, the actual way of connecting in parallel, then here you will get minus. So half C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 whole square, V1 minus V2 whole square. But if the elements are connected such that they are connected in the reverse way, positive of the first is connected to the negative of the second, negative of the first is connected to positive of the second. The reverse way, if I connect like this, then anti-parallel method, then you get plus. That is when I connect like terminals together, then the loss in energy is less. If I connect the unlike terminals together, then the loss in energy is more. That you have to understand. So here it is minus, it is plus. Right way, plus to plus, minus to minus, it is minus. If you connect the other way, plus to minus, plus is connected to minus, minus is connected to plus, the reverse way, then it will be plus. So it is half C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 whole square, V1 plus or minus V2 whole square. So this way I am going to find the energy lost and the heat that is produced in this process of connection like this. In this process of the common potential, in the process of finding the common potential is this one. This is the first important formula. Second, the total initial energy and the total final energy. Well, I have written the total final energy is equal to half of C1 V1 plus or minus C2 V2 whole square by C1 plus C2. The difference in these both will give you the energy lost. And finally, simplifying this, I get this like this. This is the energy lost of the heat produced in this system there. Well, in this one, suppose if I take up some illustrations. Well, if I take some illustrations, like if some illustrations are taken like this. Well, common potential is this one, and the energy lost delta E is equal to half C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 bracket of V1 minus or plus V2 whole square plus. When it is plus here, you will get minus here. When it is minus here, it is plus here. Please remember, right? Okay, so in these two cases, suppose if we come across some illustrations like case 1, first case, if he says that the second capacitor is uncharged capacitor. In the sense we have taken in the earlier case, the first one is connected to a battery charged to some potential V1. The second connected to the second battery for charged to potential V2. Different. Now when these both are connected, we have found the formula. If the second capacitor is uncharged, right, and the first one is charged, then it can be the other way also. The first capacitor is uncharged and the second one is charged. Then always remember, if the capacitor is uncharged, in the sense it is not connected to any source, in the sense it has not attained any charge, it has not possessed any potential, so its potential is considered to be zero. That respective capacitor's potential must be considered to be zero. So out of these two, if any one is uncharged capacitor, if any of them is uncharged capacitor, then its potential should be considered zero. Let's suppose the first one is charged and the second one is uncharged. The one which is uncharged, let us take it as 2. The one which is charged is taken as 1. There are only 2 things. Out of 2 things, the one which is charged, let us put it as 1, the uncharged one is 2. Then if I substitute, put V2 equal to 0 in these 2 formula. Enough. If the second one is uncharged, right? Charged one you consider, the charged capacity you take it as 1. The uncharged one you take it as 2. Now if the uncharged, for an uncharged, what do you mean uncharged capacitor? It is not connected to any source, no potential, no charge. So V2 0. Put it, just substitute V2 0 in this, you will get the answer. Now sometimes he'll say like this, suppose if both are identical capacitors, 2 identical capacitors charged separately, V1, V2, different. Then if both are identical capacitors, then what does identical mean? Same. C1 is equal to C2 equal to C. Put C1 and C2 as C in this. Even in this one also, C1, C2 as C. Then you will get the answer. So according to the case, whatever that gives you the problem, you have to go. But the general basic formula are these 4. These are the important things. Okay, right? So regarding common potential, these are things. Please take down all the illustrations there. Well, in the next episode we will talk about the illustrations there. Okay, right? Thank you very much.